Who exactly is Noah Brown, the quiet genius from Alaskan Bush People? On camera, he was the thoughtful inventor, the one sibling who seemed less about drama and more about survival ingenuity. But when the cameras stopped rolling, a very different story began to unfold. From a marriage that turned rocky, to shocking family feuds, to allegations that no one saw coming, Noah's journey has been anything but simple. Today, his life reads more like a survival test in the wilderness of controversy than the Alaskan bush itself. So who is Noah Brown when the spotlight fades? Let's find out. From the start of Alaskan Bush People, Noah stood out as different from his siblings. While others focused on hunting, building, or following in their father's rugged footsteps, Noah was busy inventing. Fans watched him turn scraps of metal and wires into makeshift gadgets, sometimes quirky, sometimes genius. It gave him the reputation of the family's mad scientist, a role that fit neatly into the narrative of a clan surviving off the grid. But what fans didn't always see was that Noah's inventive streak set him apart in more ways than one. He wasn't only tinkering, he was distancing himself from the family's traditional mold. While his brothers thrived on the adrenaline of survival, Noah seemed drawn toward a more practical, even modern path. That independence would later become a source of both strength and friction within the family. The show painted him as quiet and reserved, but insiders and interviews hinted at a different reality. Noah could be stubborn, opinionated, and unwilling to bend to the family's unspoken rules. This mix of intelligence and independence created a dynamic that sometimes clashed with his siblings, especially when his personal life began to take center stage. And it was that personal life that pulled Noah further into the spotlight than he ever expected. Because once romance entered the picture, things began to shift in ways that no invention could fix. In 2018, Noah married Rain Alicia, and what could have been a joyous chapter soon stirred controversy. Some fans celebrated the love story, while others noticed tension almost immediately between Rain and Noah's family. Rumors spread that his sisters didn't approve of her, and whispers of family disagreements began trickling into fan discussions online. For a family already fractured at times, this marriage widened cracks that had been quietly forming for years. Despite the turbulence, Noah and Rain welcomed two sons, Eli and Adam, bringing moments of joy and stability to their world. But behind the scenes, things weren't as simple. Reports surfaced of Noah pulling away from the family, choosing to prioritize his wife and children. While understandable, it didn't sit well with some of his siblings who felt abandoned. By 2025, their marriage hit a breaking point. Noah confirmed he and Rain had separated, with him moving into a guest cabin nearby. The split, while seemingly amicable on the surface, raised questions about whether family drama had finally pushed them too far apart. Fans speculated endlessly. Was it just marital differences, or had the larger Brown family conflicts taken their toll? One thing was clear: Noah's personal life was no longer private, and if anyone thought separation would end the drama, they were mistaken, because shortly after, Noah's next move dragged his name right back into the headlines. Early in 2025, Noah shocked fans by calling for a welfare check on his own mother, Ami, and sister, Rain. According to reports, Noah expressed concerns about substance misuse and neglect within the home. It wasn't just a private plea, it became a public revelation that split fan opinion. Some applauded him for stepping up, while others accused him of betraying his family. The incident highlighted just how deep the fractures had grown. This wasn't just about Noah being different or independent anymore. It was about Noah drawing a line in the sand and calling for outside help, a step that showed how far things had spiraled. Fans who once saw the Browns as a united front were left reeling. Adding fuel to the fire, this wasn't the first time Noah clashed with family members. In 2024, he had tried to file a restraining order against Rain, citing harassment and alleged troubling behavior. Though denied, the attempt underscored the tension bubbling beneath the surface. The welfare check marked a turning point. The moment Noah's personal struggles spilled over into public view in a way that couldn't be ignored. And just when people thought things couldn't get messier, another revelation surfaced that would send shockwaves far beyond the family circle. Because what came next wasn't just about tension, it was about accusations that could change everything. In mid-2025, Noah's sister Rain leveled disturbing accusations against him. Her claims, shared publicly, painted him in the darkest possible light, accusing him of abuse. Almost instantly, the story made headlines, sparking debates across fan forums and media outlets. For a family that had built its reputation on survival and unity, these allegations were devastating. Noah, however, didn't stay silent. He quickly released statements denying everything, calling the claims false, malicious, and destructive. To him, this wasn't just family drama spilling over, it was an attack on his character and his future. His firm denial only deepened the divide between him and his sister, leaving fans torn about whom to believe. The situation grew even murkier because it wasn't isolated. When combined with past attempts at legal action, welfare checks, and estrangements, the accusations fed into a narrative of a family collapsing under its own weight. Yet with little concrete evidence in the public eye, the truth remained uncertain, adding a layer of mystery that only fueled speculation. What was undeniable was the impact. Noah's name was now tied to controversy in a way that would be hard to erase. And while this family had endured plenty of criticism in the past, these allegations raised the stakes higher than ever. But this wasn't the only battle Noah faced, because even as his personal life spiraled, the shadow of the show itself continued to loom large. When Alaskan Bush People wrapped in 2022 after 14 seasons, many thought the Browns would finally step back from the chaos of television and settle into quiet family life. Instead, the show's ending triggered new waves of conflict. Lawsuits tied to the late patriarch Billy Brown's estate hit the headlines, including a $500,000 claim that left the family scrambling. For Noah, these legal storms only added to the strain. As one of Billy's sons, he wasn't immune to the disputes. Combined with the growing distance from his siblings and his own separation, the lawsuits painted a picture of a family unraveling long after the cameras stopped rolling. Fans who once admired the Browns for their resilience now debated whether the show had simply masked deeper problems. Was the off-grid survival narrative real, or just a smokescreen for the dysfunction beneath? For Noah, who had always seemed more reserved, this meant his image as the family's quiet genius was being rewritten into something far more controversial. And the most striking part, the cameras weren't even rolling anymore. Without the filter of reality TV, the family's private battle spilled out raw and unedited. For Noah, this wasn't entertainment, it was survival of a different kind. And while lawsuits and estate battles were dramatic enough, the real question fans kept asking was, where does Noah stand now after all this? Today, Noah Brown's life looks very different from the quiet inventor fans once admired on screen. Living apart from his wife, raising two young boys, and fighting to defend his reputation, Noah seems caught between two worlds, the image of the survivalist genius and the reality of a man surrounded by controversy. Despite everything, he continues to project determination. Friends and insiders suggest he's focused on his sons, choosing to shield them from the chaos that has defined his family for years. Yet the spotlight never fully disappears. Every move from his co-parenting decisions to his legal battles continues to be watched, debated, and dissected by fans and media alike. For Noah, the wilderness has taken on a new meaning. It's no longer just about braving harsh climates or inventing clever tools to survive. It's about navigating betrayal, accusations, and heartbreak. And unlike the show, there's no script or production team to shape the narrative. This time, it's real life, raw and unforgiving. So where does this leave him? Some say Noah will fade into privacy, retreating from the chaos. Others believe his story is far from over, that the next chapter will bring even more revelations. And that's the most haunting part. When the cameras left, the true wilderness began. Noah Brown isn't just surviving the bush anymore, he's surviving his own story, one that keeps unfolding in ways no one could have predicted. If there's one thing the Browns have proven, it's that survival isn't just about the wilderness, it's about surviving each other. After years of living and filming together, the cracks have become impossible to ignore. The fallout within the family has reached a point where many fans wonder if reconciliation is even possible. For Noah, the strain with his sister Rain has been the most public, but it's not the only fracture. His separation from Rain raised questions about where his loyalties lie, and his decision to call a welfare check on his own mother and sibling signaled that trust inside the family is fragile at best. Add in the lawsuits over Billy Brown's estate, and it becomes clear, this isn't just a family struggling with fame, it's a family divided by it. The saddest part, according to many longtime fans, is how far things have fallen since the early days. The Browns were once marketed as a tight-knit, quirky clan, beating the odds in the wild. Today, that image feels like a distant memory. Noah has become a lightning rod in all of this, whether he wanted it or not. His choices, his battles, and his strained relationships keep pulling him back into the storm. And while some fans hope for healing, others think the damage is far too deep. because if there's one truth the Browns can't escape, it's that the wilderness they face now is more brutal than anything Alaska ever threw at them. So who is Noah Brown? To fans of Alaskan Bush People, he was once the quiet, inventive mind, the brother who built gadgets while others chopped wood or hunted game. But as the years passed, that image shifted. Now Noah is at the center of one of the most turbulent chapters in the Brown family's history. He's a father raising two sons amid separation. He's a brother fighting accusations and legal battles. He's a son who took the extraordinary step of calling for help when he believed his family needed it. And through all of it, he remains a man trying to carve out his own version of survival, away from the cameras, but never far from controversy. The story of Noah Brown is no longer just about surviving the wild. It's about surviving the fallout of fame, family conflict, and the weight of a legacy that refuses to fade. His life today is unpredictable, his future uncertain, and his name permanently tied to a family saga that refuses to die down. And maybe that's the real twist. Fans tuned in for years to watch the Browns brave the harsh Alaskan wilderness, but what they couldn't have predicted was that the real test of survival would come after the cameras stopped rolling, because for Noah Brown, the wilderness isn't frozen tundra or remote forests anymore. It's betrayal, heartbreak, and the constant question of what comes next. And that's a survival story still being written.